So somebody sent me a question and they said, show us your gym. You're doing this thing at the beginning of your vlog every day. Show us your gym. There it is. No, actually, let me show you a little better. Going a little different route today. Typically, I'm talking about church planning and stuff that I'm doing with church planning. But again, this blog. I want it to be kind of a little mixture of faith, family, and fitness, the 3 F's. And so, yeah, let me show you around. We'll start over here. Sure. Pretty much everything in here has a story. The bars, first off, this is a bar that I bought, probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's an X-Training bar. I wouldn't say it's a top-of-the-line bar. I've never really had a top-of-the-line bar. I've used a couple, but I've never really bought one. But I have a couple X-Training. This is the X-Training Comp, I believe it's called, Ladies X-Training Comp. And then a fun story behind this bar right here. And is that a guy actually, we open up the garage doors here and people are driving by. We're on a fairly busy road and this guy's driving by and he stops, or I guess he was running, and he stops. And it's actually one morning, I was gone on vacation, but he stops by and he comes up and he says, hey, you guys are doing CrossFit? And the guys that were here were like, yeah, we're doing some workouts and different things. And he said, I've got some equipment I'm never using or won't use. I'm gonna bring it by. And the next morning he brings by this bar and he brings a couple plates. And so really cool deal there that somebody just driving by had kind of donated that. And so for me, that was kind of a little bit of affirmation of you're doing the right thing, right? You're helping people get fit and using your talents that God's given you to pour into other people. And so that was a pretty cool deal the day that happened. And then we've got these 2 kind of sorry bars. I mean, they're older, and this one, rattles like crazy, but we use it for squats and different things that don't require a lot of spin in the bar. And so those are our bars. That's our bar collection, if you will. This giant whiteboard actually came from our Shawnee campus when they moved into their new building. There was 4 or 5 whiteboards that were kind of dented in the corner or something like that, that we were going to get rid of, including this one. And I said, hey, I want one of those. And we had just moved in this house. And so I tried to put it in the back of my little Jeep Compass and it wouldn't fit, right? So I'm jamming it, cramming it, never fits. And so what I ended up doing was putting it on the roof, and then I had a bag of concrete in the back, and I set the bag of concrete on the back. But then I started driving down the road and it started doing the old woo, woo, you know? And so I ended up leaning out the window, holding the whiteboard while I'm driving down the road super slow with my flashers on, holding this whiteboard, and up next to me pulls Jen Miller, our finance director at the church. And she's just looking at me like, what are you doing, right? But I'm getting this whiteboard home. And so I love it because it's massive. You can put everything on it. I mean, this thing's 6 foot tall. And so I'm able to write, all of our warm-ups are across the top, and then our workout's nice and big so you can see it from across the room. But then also, if we have multiple workouts or we're keeping track of different things, we can use this board to do it. And it came with this cool magnetic tray too, which was a bonus. So here we have our squat rack. I wouldn't say it's the highest quality squat rack ever. It's just, like the old, you unscrew this and adjust. And so, I mean, super portable. You can move it around and all those different things. But probably my next purchase will be a little bit heftier, better squat rack. Here we got a hefty collection of jump ropes, bands, belt, all those different things, wrist straps, anything that just kind of needs a place to hang. That's what gets to hang here. But my oldest jump rope that I've had is an RX jump rope, and you pay pretty premium price for these things, but I'll tell you, they last. I mean, this thing still has pretty good go in it. We do call it currently the Flesh Eater because as you can see, it needs a little bit of a new cable. But I just haven't ordered one, been lazy. I actually ordered brand new jump ropes for everybody that were adjustable first. So a couple of those things that we have are the SR1 from Rogue. This is a pretty great jump rope. It has the cable weight, and so we use those quite a bit. This is probably one of my favorites beyond the RX, but they're great little jump ropes. And then the most recent purchase has been, I think it's called the SL one. It's a little bit lightweight. It's not the real rigid cable. It's more of a kind of, I don't know what the word is. Like, it's a smaller gauge, but it's still got the bearings and all that stuff. They're decent ropes. Long handles too, nice to hold on to for doing your dubs and different things like that. But we've got a good collection of jump ropes, all different sizes. And then we have a couple people who are either taller or shorter than what we have, and we just have them do the old Invisi-Rope, right? Where you act like you have the rope, but you don't have the coordination piece with the jumps. So this is a flag, obviously, but this flag was apparently flown over a base in Iraq, and I have intention to hang it somewhere, but I just don't have the wall space. And so it's kind of, I'm holding on to it for one day if we ever get gym space, like we actually rent out a place. This will be the first thing that goes up in that place. But this was a gift from a friend, Iraqi base flag. So pretty crazy. Story, this is a pair of lifters, like Olympic lifting shoes that I bought probably 4 or 5 years ago. I only paid $20 for them at the Reebok outlet in Branson, which every time we go to Branson, we have to stop by there because you find amazing deals like this. So if you're going to Branson and you want some good shoes for CrossFit or lifting, try the Reebok outlet in Branson. But paid $20 for these. I mean, look, I've worn them so little that the Reebok thing is still like in the foot. But I use these for like max lifts and different things like that. But beyond that, I don't wear them very often. And so like you can tell, there's not even a seam barely broken into where the toe bends. Like, I mean, I love these things though. They do definitely increase your lifting capacity, but I just don't wear them very often. Another thing we kind of use quite a bit are med balls. So this is X Training's 12-pounder. We use the 12 and the 20. Those are kind of the two weights that we use. If somebody is maybe like struggling with the weight or something like that, then we don't have them throw in our higher spot, but we actually have them throw right here behind me to an 8-foot target. And so they get the motion and they get the weight, but they don't have to throw it quite as far. But I will say this, X Training makes great med balls. They have survived and lasted. I've had these for about 2.5 years, and man, they do a great job. They're awesome. I think another important piece of every gym, whether it's CrossFit gym or just your gym in the garage, is the pull-up bar. And this particular one we actually had made in Fort Smith. A guy that was really good at welding. We just kind of gave him some pictures of a Rogue version and a Titan version. And he said, you know what, I can weld that up for you pretty quick. And so it only cost us about $30. And I mean, it works great and it's solid. Like, I've had a 300-pound guy hanging from that on a regular basis. It's a great piece. I think another great tool that a lot of people kind of forget about that they can use in the gym when you're like, I can't do a pull-up. Well, we use rings and we do a lot of ring rows. Around here we have several folks who are working on pull-ups and are close to getting them. But I mean, these things have lasted for years. We've had these things since the start. So 5 years probably. And I mean, they're still going strong. The straps are still in great condition. There's no frays. These are X Training's rings as well. And so I'm a fan of X Training. X Training, if you're watching this, you want to send us some stuff? We'd love that. That'd be pretty cool. Speaking of X Training, another thing that we use is the sit-up pads. These are really cool. They have a place for your butt that kind of protects it. And then what this does is it actually sits in the arch of your back so that your sit-ups are a little bit easier on your back and they don't hurt quite as bad. But we have 2 of these that we use on a regular basis and kind of rotate through. And again, these things have lasted too, man. We've had these, we've got people using them every day or at least once a week, you know, and they hold up. I feel like we have a pretty extensive like kettlebell, dumbbell collection. And the story behind some of these are that 9 of them I bought from a guy here in KC. The benefit of being in a big city, right, is Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and different things like that. And so this guy here in KC was actually changing out all his kettlebells at this gym. And so he was selling them like 20-pound kettlebells for $5. And I was like, load me up, right? And that was right when we had moved in this house and started, you know, kind of making this thing a business and people coming here to work out. And so we ended up cleaning him out. And so a ton of our kettlebells are from him. But then all of the other ones that I've ever purchased straight up, I've purchased from Rogue. And the reason is this, again, like you pay premium money, but Rogue has just an incredible quality to their kettlebells. And I mean, this 26 I've had for about 3 years, and it's, I mean, a little scuffed up on the sides, but like the handle is still in amazing condition. I mean, it's a perfect little kettlebell. And so I've always had good luck with the Rogue kettlebells. I will continue to buy Rogue kettlebells. I don't know that I will go any other route or direction. I've never had one break. I've dropped one from overhead even, like when my shoulder was just toast, and holds up just fine. I mean, they're well made, good quality stuff. This right here is probably one of the craziest features of the garage gym. And basically it's a hole in my ceiling. Yes, I cut out this hole and made it to where we can do multiple things in it. So when I cut it out, you can see there's a line there. So that's 9 foot for wall balls. And then as you get further up into the ceiling, there's another line that's 10 foot for wall balls. And so we do our wall balls right here and we throw them up in the hole. But then also I went ahead and put a brace up in there at 12 foot so that we can do rope climbs, which was something that I had. And then also we can do high rings work or low rings work. And so we have this area in this space. And that's the first thing that people notice when they walk in here. They look up and they're like, what did you do? But you know what? Great carpentry skills can lead to great things. And so here is this cool, awesome space where we can do wall balls and all the high things that we need to do. So on this side of the gym is kind of like Punisher's Row, right? So we've got the air bike that I found on Facebook Marketplace shortly after moving to Kansas City. It was only $200, which if you know air bikes and the price of air bikes, like that's cheap. And so I bought that, and this thing, I have replaced the pedals a couple times because they've worn out, but beyond that, this thing has run like a top. And so love it. Love it. This is our PR board, and so we keep track of all of our maxes and different things like that. Then we run our percentages for some of our workouts. So like we'll do a workout that's like at 70% of your max. And so that just kind of gives us a benchmark. We actually just did front squat. Where is it? Right here. We just did front squat a couple days ago, and everybody increased their weight. So that's kind of fun. This is our other pull-up bar on the other side. We made it a little lower for the ladies to be able to use, to do knee raises, pull-ups, different things like that. This is a Titan Fitness. I went ahead and spent the money instead of having somebody build this one. Put the plywood up behind it just so it didn't like go through the sheetrock or start folding out or anything like that. But it's been a great piece of equipment. Like I'm super proud of Titan. Way to go, right? I've always heard iffy things about Titan, but impressed with this. It's held up. And the piece de resistance, right, for me was a Concept 2 rower. And about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, gosh, time flies when you're having fun. About 6 months ago, I found this rower on sale on Facebook Marketplace. Again, big city benefit. Again, another guy that was closing out his gym and had a couple of them for sale. And I was like, yes, please. I'll take one, especially at the price that you are selling them at. Yeah, let's do it. And so that's kind of been one of the solid pieces really for the winter that we've done a lot of cardio work on, done a lot of rowing, but man, when it's chilly out here, you gotta have it, right? So that's kind of a look around the gym. And again, we do personal training here 3 times a week, and it's a blast. We have a good time. We've seen some people really lose some weight, lower blood pressure, bring up levels that need to come up, like all those great things. And so that's really been encouraging for me. And that's the part that I love, is like the community of working out, but also the part of like seeing someone better themselves. And so that's so cool, right? To have an opportunity to do that, not only in a physical aspect, but also a mental and a spiritual aspect as well. And so, yeah, we'll see how long this thing continues. Maybe one day we'll move into a space. Maybe one day we'll make this a full-on business. But we'll see. Maybe you can join that journey and jump in and start working out with us, or see it here on the vlog, or whatever. But that's the gym. Have a great Tuesday.